Welcome everybody, live. This is Under the Mat Radio, our first ever Skype interview. Of course, this is your host Tech. To my left could be your right, depending on how you saying it. Hit a little emoji of saltine. What's going on?
Yes, hello. Get your ass whipped. What's up, everyone? I'm out here out shopping for Christmas.
Hey
Yes,
guys.
and more
Hey,
important,
Mark.
over
Oh,
top
wait a
of it
minute.
is the
Yes.
creator, the man himself of Terrordrome. Great fan made video game with all the horror movie icons. You get to see the man face, Mr. Marc Echave. How you feeling?
Hello, Mark.
Hi everyone. But thank you for having me on your
Thank you.
show. It's a great pleasure for me.
Thanks. You too. Yes. Yes.
Hailing all the way from Montreal.
Quebec, Canada.
Right.
Montreal, Quebec. Yes. We
Did
know
the
some people up. We know some people up Canada. Yes, we do.
if you came out before we get started, explain to us the people that's watching this, the differences in Canada as opposed to the states, as well as the provinces. When you got Montreal, Quebec, Canada, Winnipeg. Those of me not understand, how do you guys work that out for as a province?
Yeah.
Can you repeat? I'm sorry. There's been a lot of noise.
Oh, sorry about that.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you
So
doing?
if you can repeat the question, please. I'm sorry.
Okay. I was asking for those watching that may not understand, you being in Canada, and you guys had provinces. So could you explain that? For us in the States, we have a city and a state. Canada, such I have three names: Montreal, Quebec, Canada, Winnipeg.
Yeah.
Explain that to us.
Uh, well, I wasn't born on Canada, so to be honest, it's like I just live in Montreal, Quebec, and that's pretty much it. So I was born and raised in Europe, and then
Oh,
I
cool.
lived I lived in South America as well. So
Oh, wow.
yeah. So but I'm still a foreigner somehow here.
Awesome.
Been all over.
Yeah.
Next fans under the mat radio tag talking with Eric McCabe of Terrordrome. Of course, he is sporting a shirt. Great product placement of Terrordrome. Guys, of course, y'all watching this. No, Terrordrome, great video game, fan made, all the horror movie icons. If you can start off, Marcus, let us know, how did you start off with the idea of the video game?
Uh, it all started because well, I've been a fan of horror movies from I was little. Um, I was also a fan of video games in general, but especially fighting games. So it all came naturally together, and it came out when I was attending a CG school back in 90, 98, more or less, and I was looking for a way to create my own game, and I just wanted to stand up with that original idea. So I just mixed one of my two passions together, video games horror movies.
Yeah.
It's awesome. Awesome.
Now, with horror movies, what are your first memories of horror movies as a child?
What was it? Oh man, it takes me back. Um, I think you know what the first images I have of horror movies that really impact me are Romero's zombies movies. Actually, yeah. I can't remember what age it was. I was like around maybe 5 or something like that when I saw, that. I saw something about, I can't remember which movie it was, but yeah, one of the Dawn of the Dead or something like that. So
Night of the Living Dead.
yeah, I think it was the yeah, the one taking place in the in the mall. I can't
Oh,
remember.
yeah, Dawn of the Dead. Yeah, that
Ah,
was in 2005, I
Dawn of the
believe.
Dead.
Or
Yeah,
it was
yeah,
another one. It was another one. It was the original one that was in the mall too.
yeah, exactly.
Mm.
So I was
Yeah, I know what you're
very
talking about.
little,
Yeah.
but really it got some kind of strong impact on me at the time.
Yeah. Awesome. Very good.
Okay. So with that being your first memory with the dead, as far as video games, what are your first memories of video games?
My dad bought the very first version of the Apple computer, so it has
Oh wow.
the green screen, all the graphics were all green,
Yeah.
and
Yes.
it was like a kind of a chopper game or something that you have to land your chopper on land pad somewhere or something like that. And right after he bought me, the first Atari console
Hmm.
with all the classic like Space Invaders, Pac-Man, and stuff like that. So yeah, I was exposed to video game at an early age. That's for sure.
Oh, sweet.
Okay. Go, Saltine.
All right. My question for you is: during the Terrordome creation of the game, what characters you really wanted in the game? Like any of them that had like trademark or copyright? Did you have any issues with that?
Yeah, at some point I got a cease and desist letter from Warner Brother and Orion company. Um,
Orion. Wow.
yeah, that was around 2010 or 11,
Oh, wow.
and yeah, I wanted to fight back, or I wanted to settle that in a general way that I was asking them if I don't know, I was doing that for free, so I didn't understand what issue they could have about it. But anyway, they tried to shut down not the whole project, but they wanted me to take out some of the main characters like Freddy Krueger, Jason Voorhees, and Ashley Williams from Evil Dead. And it was kind of like if you would ask Capcom to take off Ken and Ryu from Street Fighter game.
Oh, wow.
So I didn't know what to do at the time, so I complied. I didn't want any problem with them. I tried to reach a lawyer, but I just dropped it. It was too expensive. So
Yeah.
so yeah, I continued to release the game, but I removed those characters at the time. Um, so later on, I would find out that 1 year after NetherRealm released Freddy Krueger in a DLC, and that's where I made the connection. Like 1 year before they tried to shut me down, and I guess in my opinion to get the exclusivity on the concept of having a horror movie icon on a fighting game.
Awesome. Awesome.
Now, how did the name Terrordrome come about?
It's not that original actually because back in the days I was a fan of techno music, and there was this hardcore techno compilation called Terrordome actually. So I just thought that the name was cool enough, and I just borrow it. Like, yeah.
Cool.
So that's it. I'm sorry for the lack of originality, but
Nah, that's
It's
fine.
okay. Uh,
Now, so you come up with the name Terrordrome. What was the process of getting the characters into the game? What was the process of um figuring out, okay, we want Jason, Michael Myers, Freddy. How do you come out with the selection process for the game?
Uh, well, in the very beginning, in my mind, I had a list, a roster of maybe 50 characters, So I had to find a way to narrow down the list because every character is a huge amount of work and energy, to create. So I came I came up with some rules that would help me to get the most popular characters. So the rules were to it has to come from sequels, so franchise. Like so you would have at least one sequel for a movie, and it has to be from the slasher genre. Um, so with that two rules, I just I came up with a cast of 14 characters. Although Ashley Williams doesn't really it does not fit in the rules, but it was a kind of a surprise from the main model at the time. He was a fan of Ashley Williams, so he just came up with this character. And when I saw it, when I thought of the 3D model, I thought that I would include it in the game as well.
Oh, sweet.
So, so you have 14 characters. You have Michael Myers, of course. You have Pumpkinhead, which is a big surprise for me. A classic.
Yeah.
You have two Jasons, not one. You have two Jasons. You have Tall Man from Phantasm. You have our friend Tony Todd, Candyman. You have Pinhead from Hellraiser, Ghostface from Scream, Chucky, Re-Animator, the Maniac Cop, which I definitely love. I know, I'm missing out a few.
Pinhead
Um,
from Hellraiser.
yes,
Yeah.
I know I'm missing out a few, but for me, the selection was great. You have these icons, and for years, I've thought about it personally, talked to my friends and business partners, say, hey, it would be great. Why don't we make a horror movie fighting game? All these icons, 14, 20 icons would actually help. And this is like the second thing I thought about Terrordome. So you'll apologize for the background noise. But and then we found out about Terrordome, like, wow, this looks great, and the game looks great. And me, I'm very technical, so playing video games, I pay attention to detail for us backstage, the backstage and the stages and the sounds. And Terrordrome gives authenticity to every character. Every character has their sound bites, so they say what they really say in movies, and the actual music, and even the move sets of what they done in the movies. So talk to us about the process of adding the sound bites to coming up with what characters going to do what moves, and even the stages.
Um, well, we had all the references from the movies, so the general design was kind of easy to come up with because we had all the material. Um, so we would rewatch the entire series of films of every franchise, um, just to refresh our memories.
Hmm. Yes.
Going
Uh,
talk about Terrordrome, maybe that's some kind of horror movie voice going on in the back. All right, is everything taken care of?
yes. Yes, I'm at the bus station,
Get
so
out.
yeah.
Right.
And well,
Good.
we had a guy from the team um, who would record all the sounds and integrate them in the game, so we would be very close to the initial material.
Hmm, nice.
Awesome. Awesome.
Are
Awesome.
there any characters that didn't make the game that you wanted to put in?
Um, well, in the beginning, I had this idea of the slasher characters, but um, I wanted to extend it to you know a wider variety of movie as well, like action movies from the 80s or 90s. So there were a lot of characters that I would have loved to add. But mostly I regret that I wasn't able to create the like science fiction pack, or DLC. Like I would have loved to have a Terminator, RoboCop in as well. The Mad Max, and Snake Plissken. So and Predator and the alien monster as well. Um, but hey, yeah, yeah, it had to stop at some point, because it was taking too much time to in the making. So I just had to stop with the slasher topic.
Okay.
Oh,
Well,
cool. What kind of process you use for the Terrordome? Because I was taught to use Adobe Flash and do video games. Because I did a test with Marvel versus DC, which it was really fun to play. So I'm wondering what kind of processor you use for it.
Uh, so you have on one side you have a 2D engine, which is a very old and obsolete Japanese version of the software to create 2D games, and on the other side we have 3D packages to produce the actual models that we would render into sprites that would be later integrated in the game. So it's kind of like the first Killer Instinct game, where you had 3D
Uh huh.
models but in a 2D environment. That's pretty much the
Yeah.
same.
Oh, awesome, awesome. What about what can I say? All right, Pumpkinhead. That's
sorry, we deal with some audio issues.
Pumpkinhead
So
again because he was a huge dude. Oh, sorry about it. Sorry about that. I said
sorry, guys. Apologize for that. Sorry, guys. Apologize for that. I believe some teams asking about Pumpkinhead, about your process of adding Pumpkinhead to
yeah.
the video, which a lot of people were surprised about because even Mike and James Mondays on cinemaster.com, they actually love the fact Pumpkinhead was in the video game. What was your process of adding him,
Yes.
or adding it? Not really him, but adding it.
The idea of having Pumpkinhead wasn't mine in the beginnings. It was a request from Fabian, which is the main modeler in the project, and he just happened to love that character, and he kind of decided to add him, and I thought it was a great contender. Like we kind of needed a big beast in the game, and Pumpkinhead
yeah.
would suit that role just fine.
Oh, cool.
What character in Terrordrome aren't you a fan of? Give us like two horror movie icons you just like. I never could get with them.
um, um, the Tall Man is another character I wasn't really a fan of. I'm not a fan of the franchise to begin with, and but again, it was at Fabian's request. Um, and well, I had to agree, because at some point that the project was not not mine only, but a part of the team, like so. I like to have the people on the team having their own input. So he came up with the character, and it turned out that he made a great character in game. Like he had uh, an original gameplay. Uh, so so I was happy to accept that. You know, like to make some
Okay.
compromise.
Hmm. So you know,
Oh,
Tall Man had the original Pokeballs, the little
oh my
balls that go
goodness.
around the little. You didn't like the Pokeballs at all. The little minion. You call them little minion things.
It was silver.
It's more about the plot itself in the movies that I don't really dig. You know, it's like it's for me it's kind of a big messy thing going on, which I don't understand the logic behind it. But I kind of dig the spheres and all his minions. I mean, he made a great character like in the game. Uh, the story is it's that's another story for me, but it's just personal, you know. Like it's
And
just
he didn't talk. All he did was say "boy." That's all he did
yeah.
at all. Um, with it says, and what is there another character where you weren't a fan of?
Another character that I wasn't fan of, in the game, you know, you
In the
mean?
game?
Um, I had some concern about Pinhead, about the way he should fight or behave in the game, but I wasn't in charge of his animation. Um, I pretty much did all the animation in the game, or I directed all the animation. But Fabien, who is also an animator, he took in charge Pumpkinhead, Tollman, and Pinhead. Uh, it was at a time when I wasn't fully available for the project, so he took them in charge, and he did a pretty good job on it. So he managed to create something very creative and unique in the game with all the chains and stuff. Um,
Hmm.
so, but
Now, a question. Now there are two Jason Voorhees, two Jasons. Now, definitely thought the idea would be funny if you added him with the little paper bag. Remember that he had the little paper bag over his head before he had the hockey mask. What was the idea of coming up with two Jasons?
uh, now that I think of, it's kind of a good question because I don't know. I think I tried to gather all the version of Jason Voorhees from all the movies into one character, but I couldn't come up with something uh, that that would take all the design all together. So at some point, I just decided to take the very old version, the very first version of Jason with a mask on it, which is the third part
Yeah, third part.
version, and the last movie, which is the undead version. So I just made two character out of it, and that's pretty much it. I don't know. Yeah, I know it sounds a bit weird, you know, like to have the two version of the same character in the game. Uh, but I don't know. I thought it was cool to have both, you know.
Well, no, no. The people we know that have it, and of course, out in the world on YouTube and all over, nobody ever had a problem with that. Now, I want to give a shout out to Dashy Games. Dashy, you can look him up. He did a hilarious review of Terrordrome, which we thought was funny. He loved the game. Um, he got a little frustrated trying to use Chucky, and he kept getting, as you would say, spammed by Jason Voorhees. Um, some fan questions, actually. I know me and you, Mark, we spoke off air. Fan questions. Let me read it. Uh, I'm gonna read some characters and there's some other icons that were in the game and see your thoughts. Leprechaun, Kathy Bates from Kathy Bates from Misery. It, Pennywise. Those are some of the ones, and I have a list of other ones. So, what are your thoughts on Pennywise from It, Kathy Bates from Misery, and Leprechaun?
Well, regarding the rules that I made up, the character from Misery wouldn't make it to the roster. Um, Leprechaun would have been a great match for Chucky. Because of the size, so it would have been funny to have all of the two little characters in the game. And which one was the third one?
Pennywise from It.
Oh, yeah. I think it was the biggest request from the fans actually to have Pennywise in the game somehow. So even though it didn't really fit the rules um, or the fact that it was from a TV show instead of a movie. Um, well, actually, Fabian, who is a bit tricky sometimes, he actually modeled the character. He showed it to me, but it was later in the project, and we already agreed on just close the project with the 14 characters. But he actually created the model. So I don't know if at
Okay.
some point we could show him, like either on the website, on the Facebook page. I don't know, just to tease the public. But we don't want it we don't want the fans to believe that we would include it in the next version. So we just kept it hidden.
So some other characters are the fun. Sleepaway Camp, lady from Sleepaway Camp.
Yeah, I love that movie.
Someone said Oprah Winfrey. She looks like a monster to me. As I'm gonna say, shout out to Leprechaun. He's been in the hood and in space before Jason.
That's right.
Uh, Thoughts says here. This is from David. One of my college friends. Mark, love Terrordrome. What are your thoughts on Freddy versus Jason and on Halloween 3, Season of the Witch?
I kind of liked Freddy vs. Jason. I think it was a pretty decent movie. I only wish that the fight between the two characters would have lasted longer in the movie. Um, I think it was a great addition in both franchise, and it was a good idea, to unite the two characters in one movie. What was the other movie?
Halloween 3,
Oh,
Season of the Witch.
uh,
A lot of
again,
people hate.
I think it's a pretty decent plot. It's a decent original idea, um, but it doesn't really fit in the Halloween Michael Myers timeline, of course. Uh, I think Carpenter said at the time that he wanted to innovate or experiment, with the different direction in the franchise. I think he didn't really realize at the time that the importance of keeping the same characters and the same concept into a franchise. So, but I think it was okay. I think it would have been better if it was named differently. Like just Season of the Witch, maybe just, but not Halloween 3, definitely.
It's some other add-ons to some things I wrote and other people was letting me know. Fans of the show is DLC. Said they'd like to see DLC from Kathy Bates of Misery, Jaws. Maybe have a little stage where Jaws could attack you.
Jaws.
That's Jaws. Jaws would be funny. How you come up with that? Um, Thoughts to Jigsaw, famous one we kept getting asked about for the past week. Is Jigsaw will be a great add-on. I'm not sure. I'm pretty sure we'll talk about Terrordrome 2 in a little bit. Um, are you a fan of Jigsaw? Are you a fan of the Saw series? And if Saw was around back when you first started this project, do you think you would have incorporated him or the puppet?
Um, I think I saw pretty much all the movies from the series. Saw the main problem with the character and the concept is the killer kills the prey, the people with traps and puzzle and stuff. So it would have been kind of hard to include that in a fighting game. So um, the what we intended in the beginning was to have the voice as a commentator um, in the game. We changed that later on with with the incoming of a new guy who would do the voices, but that was the idea, uh, kind of kind of a hint to the
Okay.
series. And I wanted to include some other stages, like would it be cool to have the cell room from Silence of the Lambs,
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
having Hannibal Lecter, in his cell in the background. It would have been cool. But again, because of time constraint and all the energy that they requested to create either background or character, we just had to stop with at some point, and to narrow our choices.
What is you talk about the time it took to make this game? What is the longest day, or say the longest duration that you took nonstop of working on this project?
It's hard to say, but I remember when the game came out during the first version and until later in the production. I used to sacrifice all of my weekends, evenings. Sometimes I worked at night. That was before I had kids, but still, it's a huge sacrifice that I did. That most people didn't understand at the time why I was doing that. And to be honest, even it was hard to understand why I was doing that. To put so much effort in something that wouldn't gain us anything but troubles. you I just guess passion. Passion is the main driver of this project for me and the rest of the team, definitely.
Now, how do you feel about the reception? Before we talk about Terrordrome 2, which you can talk about it. How do you feel as far as the reception of Terrordrome this far? I know a lot of people doing our research and all people that have it, they loved it, and I feel like a lot of fans were excited about it and had more of a positive outlook, even more so than other, I guess you say, commercial or licensed games out there. We've seen a lot of games come and go, these versus games that aren't really what they supposed to be. I remember one of the versus games I remember as growing up was the old Power Rangers. So what was the name of that game with Super Nintendo? It was a Power Rangers fighting game. You could like fight each other. I thought
I'm
that
trying
game
to
was
think. Fighting edition. It's the Power Ranger Fighting edition, I believe.
yeah, that's what I remember that, and I was like, wow, that's cool. The Power Rangers could just fight each other. And then
Yeah,
of
and
course you have Marvel versus
yeah,
Capcom. And of course Marvel versus
Ninja
Capcom
Turtles.
were just
Yep,
enough. Ninja Turtles tournament fighters. And now you have the horror movie icons. You would think, of course, we know legalities of why companies haven't thought of this. Was like this could be probably one of the most profitable, ideas for a fighting game. And it seems like you guys being fan made and not having any source of money except for your own, did a better job than some of the commercial games that come on now.
Well, it all came up as a big surprise, because I've just started all this because of personal passion. It was a hobby for me, so I wasn't expecting to have that much of recognition or popularity, so it grew up in time, like Terrordome took like a decade to 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 to
Wow.
to be complete. So I've just started developed this on my own. I wasn't expecting anything out of it, and in time, well, there was a lot of attention. People enjoyed the game, so it was the combination of the characters, the license that you could finally play and pitch against one each other, and and also the gameplay mechanics that was enjoyable. It's fun to play, even more with all the updates that the team brought. Um, so I think it all came naturally, like it started small and then it became something more uh, international, so more still on the ground. But yeah, there are a lot of people right now who knows Terrordrome, who are fan of fighting games in general, but and they came to know the project and they loved it. So um, that's that's when we had this idea of try to um, take advantage of the fan base with a sequel, with a commercial sequel. So that's what we're doing now. And the reception of the announcement of the Terrordome, no, Terrordome 2 had a pretty good reception, and people were very enthusiastic. Um, so yeah, I think we are into something.
Yeah, can you talk to us about Terrordrome too? Sorry, fans, I'm getting a fan text right now. I'm answering them. Go ahead. Terrordrome T. What could we look forward in saying?
It's very early in the development. But what I can tell you is that all the team has been gathered again for the sequel. Everybody in the team is ready and full of will and excited about it. We have produced the first 3 or 4 characters already. They're all
Oh wow.
model. We we integrated in the Unity engine, which is the engine that we're gonna use this time around. So it's a 3D engine, so we're gonna have a 3D game with a 2D gameplay. Um, kind of
Oh
like
great.
just like Street Fighter 4 and 5
Great.
or even MK. Uh, and it's doing pretty well so far. I can't reveal that much at that point. We're keeping a lot of details and information, but it should be something pretty interesting in the end. And what I
Oh,
can say also is that we're really working hard on the demo, or to come up with enough material to show during the next Kickstarter that we plan having on next November, so November 2017.
Oh
Um,
wow.
yeah, so it's a big challenge, but we know that we have a lot of people following this project already, so we'll just keep on working on it.
can't wait for that. Now, Terrordrome
Oh
2
yes.
coming up soon. We can't wait for it. I know you can't talk much about it. Have you thought about doing a game of all the action stars like Jean Claude, Bruce Lee, Chuck Norris, Michael Dudikoff, Schwarzenegger? Oh, I think that would
Yes.
be great. I know I'm missing some out. Dolph Lundgren,
Yep.
Justice Stallone. Have you thought
Bart
about? I think that would
DeSakos.
be cool. Right, exactly. Yeah. When you think about a video game, like all the action stars, like the '80s and the '90s.
Yeah, somehow I had this idea like back in the days, like when I came up with the Terrordome concept. I thought it would have been cool to extend that to the heroes, action men from the 80s or 90s. So yeah, it could have been not a sequel, but like another game. Um, but again, I mean, it would require a lot of effort, energy, and work. So, but yeah, definitely. In the beginning, I wanted to include a classic pack with all the classic monsters like Frankenstein, Dracula, the original ones. Have
Yeah,
a hero pack with, like I said, Mad Max, Snake Plissken,
yeah.
Rocky Balboa, those kind of characters all together. Science fiction pack with Alien, the Predator,
Predator,
Seal, the alien from what was the movie? It's a female alien. Can't remember the name.
female
Um,
alien. You talking about Species?
yeah,
Yeah,
Species.
species.
Right, right.
She was kind of cute. What was her name? Remember part one?
Natasha something. Her last name.
I'm sure
Yeah.
somebody on YouTube well down below will tell us. But yeah, Species was cool.
Yeah, right. Yeah, the blob, all together, and
Yeah,
in the
Bob
end, it would have been
thing.
cool to have all of them together, in one game, like kind of a huge Mugen style, game.
Yeah.
Uh, but
It'd be
yeah.
it'd be cool to have the president. You can have the president's pack too. You got at Trump, Obama, the Bushes, Abraham Lincoln,
Yeah,
George Washington. That would be kind of cool. Or historic pack, Benjamin Franklin. I think that would be fun. That would be fun. We're gonna ask you a couple more questions. So we let you go. I know time is of the essence. Is what have you learned so far? Looking, you get the cease and desist letters, and of course, Mortal Kombat XL was out. And they had Jason and Freddy and the Predator, and Leather. I'm sorry, we forgot Leatherface. Anybody? I know y'all probably kill us in the comments. We forgot Leatherface from Chucky's Chainsaw. He's on Terrordrome. What are your honest opinions on how NetherRealm used, Leatherface and Jason and Freddy as opposed to your versions?
well, personally, I think it's pretty obvious that you have all these DLC characters in Mortal Kombat because of Terrordome. I think it's pretty obvious because of the season disease letter that I got, and if you look at the gameplay of these characters, it's pretty close to what we have in Terrordome. So even the moveset is very similar. So it's hard to think it's a coincidence. I don't think it is. Besides, in this industry, it's pretty common, to have big companies uh, stealing ideas and concepts from others. Like most of the time, people think that these big company come up with their own ideas and stuff, and they invent everything. But it's not like that. Like there's a lot of stealing and and
Yeah, it
so
is.
it's pretty common. So but I can't do anything about it. It's like I don't have any rights of the characters. I knew that from the beginning. It's just that was it really necessary to send me those letters? Like we weren't doing any harm. Like the
They were scared. So anyway, they were scared. You know that
exactly.
you had to make an impact if they contacted you.
So, yeah, and I'm no match to fight against them or their lawyers. So. Um, But anyway, you know what? At some point, I just decided to continue to release some other version of the game with all the characters included, and in the end, nothing happened. Like they stopped bothering me. So I guess I was no threat to them anymore. Like so they believed. So I don't know. It's just business in the end. At the end of the day.
Just got another text from my good old uh brother TB. Said shout out. You could have added the wolves from Howling. Do you remember that series?
Yeah. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. I wanted to add like when I was talking about Beast, like I was I would have loved to have a werewolf in the game, uh,
Right.
and that's how Pumpkinhead somehow, kind of fits in. So I didn't ask for Pumpkinhead, I want a werewolf instead, but it's okay.
Well, hopefully you don't add the Wolf, the Jack Nicholson version, because that movie was horrible.
Oh my goodness, yes.
Well, you know what? I saw that movie like 2 days ago, just for um, reference purpose. If that's any hints for Terrordome 2 roster.
Well,
Quote references. That's the quote references.
Right.
reference. Well, before we let you go, before we let you go ahead and tell us about Terrordrome TV and your website, we're gonna do what's called a rapid round. So we're gonna ask you a couple of questions, give us like one word answers. The first thing that comes to us, to be honest. Um, Least favorite horror movie.
I think the last installment, not the last, but the last installment of Friday the 13th, but the one with uh, the zombie Jason.
Space. Jason X.
No, that one was funny, but I think the one before, he appeared in the beginning, and then he's just reincarnating into
Oh,
the
the
body.
final Friday. The final Friday, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, that one. But the zombie face.
Yeah, the
Um,
zombie face. Yeah.
I think it's the ninth installment or something like that.
Yeah, Jason Goes to Hell.
Jason Goes to
Oh,
Hell.
that's what.
That's
Yeah,
right.
that's what it is. Yeah,
That's right. I
Jason
think
goes to
yeah,
hell.
it's one of the worst installment. I mean, what the hell
Okay.
was going on?
Uh, Most overrated horror movie icon.
Mm, perhaps um, the one with
Tall
the
man.
no, no, but I never understood the popularity of Jeeper Creeper. I mean, although I love the first half of the first movie, uh, but that's it. It's like the rest is the kind of a messy patchwork of concept ideas thrown together into one character. Like the heads and the wings and the car. The truck he's driving. Even though he's supposed to appear every 100 years or something. So it didn't make much sense to me. Um, so it's still popular. So who knows why?
Horror movie that made you scared.
Uh, Ring. I have a
Say that
very
again.
Ring. The
But the ring. Oh, with
Japanese.
the little the girl. Yeah, the girl at the TV.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. The original one, the Japanese one. Yeah, I remember.
Ringu.
Yeah, well, I'm not talking about Ring Zero, but the first Ring that came out. Yes, I remember. I had to pause the movie, and switch the light on for a moment because I was pretty scared by the movie at the time. Yeah.
Are you a fan of The Walking Dead?
I started reading the comics. I stopped at some point, and I still have to watch the series, but I can't because of the kids. But I still want to catch up with with the season.
Put him to sleep.
But yeah, yeah. But I watched the first episodes, and it was cool. Yeah, yeah. I think it's a good series, and I think there's a reason why it's continuing to season. What is it? Season 7 or something?
Yeah, it's on season 7 now.
Okay.
Favorite horror movie quote.
Code. Any quote from Michael Myers? No,
He
I
didn't
can't
talk.
remember.
Did you talk? No, you didn't ever talk.
No.
I know. No, I can't remember right now. Like maybe Ash
I know
from
so.
Evil Dead. Like if that
Down to the
counts.
king.
A to the
What
king.
about Freddy? Welcome to Prime Time, bitch.
Yeah.
Classic one.
Yeah,
Or
Freddy Krueger had some nice quotes.
one of my favorites was what was that? Hellraiser. We'll tear your soul apart. In part one,
Right,
very great creepy guy.
right.
Very
Yeah.
creepy guy. If you had to watch, if you were stuck in your room and you had to watch one horror movie over and over again, what would it be?
Um, I think probably Halloween. The first Halloween. I'm a fan of the first Halloween movie. It's I think it's a great plot. It's very simple, but it was the one of the first at the time. It was an inspiration for the other slasher characters. It was directed by Carpenter, so yeah, it's a good flick. Yeah, yeah. I think I could watch this one over and over if I really had to.
One more question, and got two more funny characters you asked about. Your personality, Mark. Who could you relate the most to out of all the horror movie icons, past to present? Who do you see yourself as?
Again, I gotta say, Michael Myers is kind of an inspiration for me. Not because of the murders, of course, but the will that the character displays. There's nothing that can stop him once he's into mission or something. So I kind of admire this. Um, the will that he puts in his mission, whatever you want to call it. So I kind of apply the same thing, to my everyday commitment. Like I have to do something, and I don't let anybody get in and try to stop me. I have to do it. I have to do this company. I have to do this Terrordome 2 project. This is what excites me the most, and that I have to do.
Saltine, who do you relate to most for us horror movies? Horror movie icons.
I'm sorry.
Um, that's a
You
weird
gotta repeat.
question. Hmm. I would say Freddie because I'm a wisecracker too, and I like to joke around and everything. So he's pretty, he's pretty out there, just like me. So I can relate to him.
But I relate myself more so of a Jigsaw. I'm very calculating, and I mean I would just sit and put somebody in a trap, and I won't be unfair like the sequels. I would give them a chance, but I would sit and calculate every small detail and see he was intelligent. So just put him in a trap. That's what you get. Try to get out. I gave you a chance. If you can't get out, you just die. Oh, game over has to be one of the iconic catchphrases. And they keep playing that same damn song. That that Saw thing. Everybody plays it. They use it in TVs and commercials. Shout out to Hans Zimmer who came up with that thing. Of course, he did. What was it Hans Zimmer Saw team? I think it was him.
I believe so. I believe so. He
Yeah,
made a
also
lot of
did music.
things. He made a
Yeah,
lot of
he
things.
also did music for The Dark Knight Rises.
Yep.
Great
Oh
stuff.
yes.
Couple of fan DLC said Mark, low Terrordrome. Next time add Christine, Cujo, and Curry.
Yeah, I wanted to have that part of the game, just like Street Fighter, where you have to break a car. I wanted to have Christine, uh, and
That would be great.
yeah,
Cool.
and in the end, it would rebuild itself. Like back like it was. Yeah, that was an idea that we really thought hard about it. But again, for a time constraint, we just dropped it.
So when, if you can give us an estimate, Terrordrome 2, when would you say would be the projected date, or when we could get a demo, see some screenshots, a little teaser trailer?
We're brainstorming a lot about every aspect of the game, not only the design and the plot and stuff, but also the marketing and the teaser, the trailer. I think we're gonna be able to come up and show some stuff, some characters and other assets or maybe backgrounds during next year until we get to the Kickstarter, which is planned on for November 2017. I hope we can have a demo until then. I'm not sure about it because it's a lot of work. There's a lot of balance
Mm.
that you have to work on and tweak and everything, so the game can really be enjoyable. I'm not sure we can make that, but we will have some good videos for sure. So and then, man, I would like the game to be released for the next year, which is
Okay.
quarter four of 2018. Um, but I think it's not unlikely that we could have a lot of delay as well, like every video game production, So, but that would be the plan. So we're really working hard on it to stay in those in those lines.
Well, I want to say, Mark, it's been an honor. Happy holidays to you.
Yes, it
Merry
was.
Christmas.
Thank you.
Happy New
You
Year.
too.
But we let you go. So everybody watching on YouTube, that's we'll watch this now, watch it later. How to download Terrordrome, how to get information on Terrordrome 2, then about Terrordrome TV.
Yeah, but well, thank you for you guys for having me. It's been a lot of
Of
fun.
course.
Mm.
I appreciate your support, and I hope you continue to enjoy the game and the next one. Um, and yes, you can follow the next all the information you'll get in our Facebook page or the website, which is terrordrome-thegame.com. Um, I just can say that we'll continue fighting for a sequel for this game. Definitely, you can count on us.
Definitely can't wait. Mark, it's been an honor. Let us know any more updates on Terrordrome 2. And thank you much for your time. Let everybody know under the Mat
Of
Radio. Don't forget follow us on Twitter at tech_UTMR. Follow us on Facebook under the Mat Radio, our like page and page, YouTube under the Mat Radio channel, Instagram under the Mat Radio, all one word. And of course, email us at under the Mat Radio at gmail.com. Don't forget check us out every Tuesday night 11 p.m. Eastern Time on blogtalkradio.com / Under the Mat Radio. Shout out, speaking of movies, gotta give a shout out to Eric Jacobus. You can look him up. That's Eric, ERIC. The last name is Jacob at the US. Famous stuntman, famous coordinator. He's been in Mafia 3. He's did work for Live Free or Die Hard. Reenacted all the video games, speaking of video games, reenacted all the video game move sets for Street Fighter, Dead or Alive, and also Tekken. So had him on our show last night. Great guy. So Mark, give him a check, give him a shout out. If you want to do that action game, hope you do. All right, guy. All right, then we got it. So I thank you
yeah.
much, Mark, for your time, and we look forward to talk to you next year.
Yes, indeed.
Well, thank you very much, and happy Christmas to you too.
Yes,
Thank
thank you.
you.
But we'll do, we'll try to next year send you a little tall man doll from Phantasm. Definitely give you.
All
All
right.
right, guys. Thank you much. We'll talk to you soon.
All right. See y'all.
Thank you.